If you have been trying to lose weight, but you seem to be stuck and nothing's moving on, there's nothing wrong with you. There's everything wrong with the internet, and you've probably been lied to by a lot of quick and easy hacks that internet always suggests to you. So let's clear the air and let me take you through 3 common myths and beliefs that you see on the internet that keeps you stuck with your weight loss. The lie number 1, carbs make you fat. That's like a complete nonsense, because most of the people that I actually start working with, when I ask them and they tell me that last time they've been successful with weight loss, they've cut the carbs and the weight has gone down, which of course it makes sense. If you cut out one of the 3 main macronutrients from your diet, you literally removing 1/3 of the food that is available to you to eat. And the thing is, the carbs by themselves, they're not necessarily bad. It might be the choices of the carbs that you're making is not good for you. So what normally happens if you cut the carbs out, you go for like 2 to 3 weeks, then you find yourself extremely hungry and you just start smashing through every single snack and bit of food that you have in your cabinet, because you simply cannot maintain that hunger by not having any carbs. So what you have to understand, that your body is not really storing fat from carbohydrates that you're eating. Your body is actually storing fat from excess calories. And things like bread, pasta, and fries, I will take fries as an example of potatoes, they are easy to consume and digest foods. That just simply leads you to over-consuming calories. But fries is not a good example of building up a meal. So let's say if you have a little bit of pasta and you have loads of chicken with it and loads of vegetables, you would eat that and that would just simply be digested slowly because of the protein and vegetables that you had alongside, and there would be absolutely nothing wrong with the pasta that you had. So keep in mind that carbohydrates is not the devil. Carbohydrates is something that your body prefers as fuel source. And when it comes to training in the gym and lifting weights, most of the fuel that's used through the gym sessions from your body is actually in form of carbohydrates. I don't necessarily want you to remove carbohydrates, maybe just see how much oil and other things are you consuming alongside them. And just simply, if you're having like a half of plate of rice, maybe reduce that to quarter plate of rice and then add some vegetables and more protein into it, and you will see exactly what I mean. Lie number 2 is that you have to eat 100% clean all the time. Now, in reality, that doesn't work. Eating clean 100% of the time, it assumes that you will never have a birthday, you'll never have a work event, you'll never have any conferences and things like that. So the way I like to think about it is 90% of the time you need to eat foods that are good for your body, and 10% of the time you need to eat foods that are good for the soul. So if, let's say, we would take a whole week of eating, and you are eating healthy through the week, and then on the weekend you have a birthday party, you just have some cake and there's nothing wrong with that, as long as it's not a whole cheesecake. Because when it comes down to weight loss, we still need to eat in calorie deficit, and you can easily undo all the hard work in a week in literally like 5 to 6 minutes by eating loads of calories and having some alcohol. But what I'm trying to say is that most of the time you should eat whole foods, and then occasionally you can have some snacks. However, it doesn't mean that every weekend must be a party weekend, and you still have to be a little bit of cautious what you're eating in those parties. But it doesn't mean that you have to stay 100% clean, chicken, broccoli, and rice, oats for breakfast, cottage cheese in the evening. That's just simply unsustainable, because we got life to live, and that life has to be enjoyable. So if it comes down to having a bit of beer or wine or whatever you prefer from time to time, that's absolutely fine, as long as it's not in excess. And a good way of thinking about it is think about nutrition as brushing your teeth. So if you're brushing your teeth, all the time, and then you miss one because you forgot your toothbrush while you was on holiday and there was no shop to buy another one, it's not the end of the world. You just don't completely stop brushing your teeth because you missed that 1 or 2 times while you was away or whatever, and you just come back to brushing your teeth after. So same thing. If you end up having a bit of a party, then you just come back to clean eating following that party. You just don't go and say, fuck it, and I will not eat vegetables again because it's unsustainable. So yeah, you don't need to eat 100% clean all the time. Line number 3 is you have to eat less and less to lose weight. That's not necessarily the truth, because less doesn't mean less calories. You know, if we take a handful of nuts, they will be quite calorie dense. So when it comes to weight loss, all that matters is your calories. I don't want to say that you have to count them in order to lose weight, but when it comes to weight loss, calories is the single most important thing that you need to pay attention to if you want to lose weight. But when it comes to dieting all the time, what happens is that if you constantly diet for a really long period of time, your metabolism adapts to it and your metabolic rate drops down. So at some point you need to go through a refeeding point, so where you can kick your metabolism up, and that would be just simply stopping dieting for 2, maybe 4 weeks and just trying to maintain the weight that you have, so you can get a little bit of a kick of metabolism. So then when you'll come back to cutting calories down again, you can continue losing the weight. And simply, if you would just continue eating less and less and less and less, the longer you do that, the less you're gonna eat, and eventually you will end up eating nothing. So it just absolutely makes no sense in doing that. So keep in mind that you need to cycle your weight loss, have a maintenance break where you just maintain your weight, as I said before, and then coming back to weight loss again. And look, if you happen to believe any of these myths and lies that I've just told you, it's not your fault. It's mostly because of people like myself, and there's a lot of content creators who just simply disagree with each other. Now, my goal is to educate people that you can have a nice and balanced diet. You can still live a healthy lifestyle while sometimes enjoying yourself and going out. And everything is good in moderation. You don't need to severely restrict yourself. You don't need to cut the carbs out. And you don't need to constantly be in the calorie deficit and putting yourself through like that pain of being in the calorie deficit for a long period of time, because everything comes in moderation and our body also adapts to having that moderation. So if you believed any of those lies, let me know down in the comments which one you believe the most and how it caught you out in the past. Now, since you're going down in the comments, also check the link down in the description where I can help you to lose a jean size in the next 30 days. So check that out. And if you need help individually, book a call with me. Let's work together towards your fitness goals. Now, if you're stuck here for so long, YouTube thinks that you can get stuck in watching this video as well. And I'll see you in the next one.